Rudy Blair of Rudy Blair Entertainment Media, rudyblairmedia.com. I have Ngozi Paul here with me. Ngozi, do I call you director?
Looks like I call you director.
You like my little side here with director. We're going to be talking about something that's going to be very, very important as we speak. Is going to be on August 1st. I do believe CBC, and this is something that any person, I think, any person of color has dealt with, and you've put this in a great format. First off, I have to say congratulations on this and what we're going to talk about. Second of all, I have to ask, I heard a little wee voice in the back. What's going on? Do you have somebody else there with you?
I do. He is taking his leave ever so shortly. What's going on is I have a baby. I have a baby boy, and so I don't know if you can say you're a new mom for the first year. I believe he's 11 months old.
Ah, well,
Yeah, he's 11 months old.
congratulations.
Thank you. So this will be his first Emancipation Day.
There you go. And let's talk about this Emancipation Day. Something that is very important. Something that some people know nothing about. And it's great, of course, to be getting the Canadian perspective on this. Let's jump right into this because I mentioned about August 1st. What is happening on August 1st exactly?
So August 1st is Emancipation Day. And Emancipation Day is the day that commemorates the abolition of slavery throughout the British Empire. And of course, Canada was part of the British Empire in 1833. And then in 1834, August 1st is when it came into effect.
But we're actually going to be seeing something that is going to talk about this, correct?
Yes. Oh, so, and Free Up, Free Up 2022 is the television special that will be on CBC and be streaming on CBC Gem on August 1st at 8 p.m. The first one is Free Up Emancipation Day 2022. And then the second part is Free Up Freedom Talks, which is our opportunity to go a little bit deeper. So we celebrate for the first hour with different amazing community organizations across the country. And then the second part of it is we go a little bit deeper into a series of conversations and performances about Emancipation Day
Can we
and
talk a little bit
freedom.
about? Let's talk a little bit about that too, because I love the structure on this. Who are some of the folks who are part of this discussion and performances? They are familiar. Some are familiar faces to people.
Oh yes, absolutely. We have Canada Walk of Fame, Queen of R&B and Freedom Talks, Julie Black, Misha Gruber Gossman, Tika Ahmed. We also have directors and writers and change makers, MPs, politicians, advocates. It really does run the gamut.
It does, and the concert part of it is something that's very, very beautiful. It's the conversation part that I think is equally, or might even be more important. And the reason why I say that is because it is about conversation. One of the comments that I remember somebody saying in this, and I thought it was basically told the whole story. And it talked about how the history writers pick and
Mm.
choose what the history writers want to put out there. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? And I think you remember what I'm talking about.
That's RT, and
And figures RT
director,
would do that if anybody knows
right,
RT.
director of the Porter series, brilliant creator and storyteller, and absolutely. He says that. Um, oh, actually, you know what? That's Dwayne Morgan.
It was Dwayne. Okay.
It's Dwayne Morgan. Um, yeah. Uh, yeah, that's right. He's like, is that he's well, actually, I think they both say something similar in
Mm-hmm.
slightly different ways. And but the quote that I'm remembering now is when Dwayne says, that history is a set of curated facts, right?
Exactly. Exactly. And and I thought
What a
that was
line,
very
right?
I thought that was very powerful because when I was growing up, I was taught history a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
the only way I saw anything that I considered my history was
Mm-hmm.
anything that I watched with my dad on
Mm-hmm.
television that he would have, hey, come watch this, that
Right.
kind of thing. Not in
Mm-hmm.
school
Mm-hmm.
is what I had to learn. There were so many different things.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't until I got older when I started to question certain things.
Mm.
And before folks knew anything about, being having a smartphone and being able to get information as quickly as they could, it was harder to go through, encyclopedias and things like that when that information is not there.
Right. Absolutely.
So, and I think this is what I found interesting in the conversations because many of those folks are either around my age or close to my age. Can you talk about that? Because I thought, like I said, the sequences and putting the people together, I thought that was very, very interesting. And for younger folks, I think very, very important for somebody like myself had to go through to really start to learn the real history.
Right. Right. Um, well, the hope was to have a variety of perspectives, and 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 I think it's like our understanding, if we, as Misha says, if we stay alert, our understanding will continue to grow and continue to expand, and and we are finding out more about things that actually happened. We are finding out more about our legacy as a country, and how it was built, you know. And I feel, again, any type of space that can be that can catalyze that is one worth cultivating.
I'm glad you brought up Misha Bruger Gosman. I've known her for, I can say, decades. I
Oh,
had
wonderful.
no idea about her family background. And when she talks about her family being loyalists and
Right.
explaining that, I was
Mm-hmm.
completely blown away. I thought that was something very important history wise because I don't think I've ever heard anybody ever talking about loyalists, black loyalists, and what that was all about.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. I had heard of Loyalists just from like being a little bit more um like over the past years, because I just found out about Emancipation Day in 2017. So but I've, and being spending time with Rosemary Sadler and just starting to like dig around, as you mentioned. Um, so with Canadian Loyalists, um, and in fact, it's so funny because you always hear about the American story. Like, I saw Glory,
Yes.
right, with Denzel, and like, people who would fight for their freedom. And when America tried to take over Canada, the British enlisted Black people to fight for them and promised them their quote unquote freedom. And right, so it's I find it just so I find that part of it so interesting, and really, for me, like, she just mentions it and it just scratches the surface of, really, can you just imagine literally the thousands and tens of thousands of stories and family and legacy that is attached to.
The other thing I enjoyed too was the fact that even though you could say that this is a black subject and black stories, the panelists that were together, they weren't all black.
No.
I thought
And
that was important.
what, though, what's so funny is, like, this is definitely central to it is that this is part of the Black experience and the African Canadian experience, right? That's central. But colonialism is, the quote was, the sun will never set on the British Empire, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that it's an important part of the conversation to realize that truly all of us are affected in different ways. And then I think that another thing to that's worth acknowledgement is that all of us are affected in different ways. And when we start to share our experiences around these ideas, and we will start to see commonality. And I also feel that, we talk about, like, this is so important to many Black Canadians, but I do think this is important to Canadians because it contextually will give us a deeper understanding of everybody's lived experience that's beyond, a hashtag or something that's trending. It's this is generational, and it really does affect where we are.
And I'm so glad that the story and stories are being told because it needs to be documented. As we said in the beginning of this interview, that these are stories that haven't actually, in my day, put in the history books.
Mm-hmm.
Now, these things are happening and they're being told in the best ways so that generations to come can learn a heck of a lot better than
Mm-hmm.
what I had to deal with. What do you hope viewers are going to get from this when they get to watch this?
Well, I genuinely hope that people will be entertained, and that they will have a good time, and that they will come together and feel inspired and feel joyous and feel celebratory. And then that will ignite conversation between families and generations. And, I always say that our elders are like a wealth of information. If you have a chance to sit down and talk to a grandma or a grandpa, do that, because they have a very different perspective on the world. And yeah, and I hope that it will spark conversation and a feeling of inspiration, and really that people and Canadians will embrace Emancipation Day as part of our legacy for the next generations, and that we will continue to celebrate freedoms and be civically engaged and educate ourselves so that we can protect the legacy that was a hard one.
Amen to that. One more time, what is it called again? And what day and time? And where can we see this?
So you can see this on CBC and stream it on CBC Gem, and it starts at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and uh, and it's a 2 hour special, and it's called Free Up 2022.
I love it. Thank you so much for taking time to speaking with me. Congratulations on this, and definitely looking forward to talking to you again. And folks, thank you so much for watching and listening in. My name is Rudy Blair of Rudy Blair Entertainment Media, RudyBlairMedia.com. Again, thank you again, and be safe.